What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Team to Beat Miami Heat basketball channel. My name is Amir. Got a special episode for you guys today. Really excited. Doing a three-way collab with three dudes that I've been following for quite a while now. So all three of these guys you probably already know. But on this episode today, we're going to talk a little bit about Miami Heat basketball, obviously. But I got Ernest from Miami Heat Talk. We got Martel from the Miami Heat Zone podcast. And we got Trent from Miami Heat Network. What's up, boys?
What's up? What's up?
What's up?
What's going on, man? What's going on, man? Trey Tyler Hero.
This guy, this man
He's
has,
already coming guns blazing.
even after a night like last night, the Heat winning against the Rockets, Tyler putting up that 28 piece efficiently too, 10 for 20, 5 for 10 from three, but Trent has an agenda. So before I get into some questions that I have for you guys, the Miami Heat currently are 21-15. We're actually fourth in the East, but there's a four-way tie right now. I don't know what tiebreaker we have.
Five-way.
Five-way tie. Yeah, from 4 through 8, all
Yep.
21-15. So like on days we don't even play, we could move down to the 7th or 8th seed. So like this shit's fucking wild, man. So I just want to get your guys' thoughts just on the current status of the Heat. A lot has gone on this season. So let's start off with Ernest. How do you think we're performing? We're almost at the midway point of the season. What are your thoughts on the team currently and how they
Bro, we're doing way better than last year. You know, last year we were scrounging for 500. So I think the Heat are doing great. I think they're doing 5. I'm not in the same agreement with Trent about trading Tyler. I get it. But I think the Heat are fine. We haven't been healthy, and you're 21-15. You got the best playoff performer, Jimmy, the best coach in Spo, the best two-way performer in Bam. So I think we're fine.
Yeah, what do you think, Martel?
Yeah, man, we just got to get healthy. I think that we need Jimmy back. I know, he's going to miss a few more games. Kyle Lowry, I think he has like a sprained hand now. So as long as we get all of our guys back, we get Caleb Martin back, so that we can see this team together and see what they're capable of. We know what we can do in June, but we really got to get through this regular season first and at least get a top 4 spot.
So I'm gonna take words away from Ty Lue. Ty Lue during the offseason said we got to take the regular season serious. And Jimmy Butler, I think we talk about this. Me and Martel talk about this all the time. I get he's injured, but even when he was playing, you could tell he was coasting once again. And it's frustrating with me because like these games are important because especially how close the Eastern Conference is. Like you said, Amir, we could be a 3rd seed or a 4th seed and drop to the 8th seed. Like it can easily change like that. And so like we need to win these games. Like we can't just be affording Jimmy Butler to coast around or this or that. Like I would say he's our best player, like overall. I think Tyler Hero is like, and Bam, or those are the two guys we rely on and stuff like that. But like we need him out there and stuff like that. And so with all these injuries occurring, like Ernest said, we're doing better than last year. I mean, we're 21-15. Last year we had 44 wins. So I think obviously there's still plenty of games left, and when this team gets healthy, we'll be fine. I'm not worried about the Eastern Conference. I think I'm not worried about the Celtics. I'm not worried about the Bucks. The Bucks can't play no defense right now. I'm not worried about the 76ers. We all know how Joel is. He's going to get tired out. He's going to get injured. Not worried about nobody. I know we can win the East. My concern, and I tell Martel this all the time, even when we healthy, can we compete with teams in the Western Conference? We seen last year in the finals, we got destroyed by Denver because they were just a better team. They had the better starting lineup. Jokic is the best player on the court. Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr. So they had all these guys, right? This season, Western Conference is tough. If the Clippers stay healthy, that's a team. Yes, I want them to play Miami because I'm a Russ fan and I love Miami, so I think it'll be cool to see. But are we winning that series? It's a toss-up. That's a scary team. They're playing really, really good basketball, and that's not talking about Denver and Phoenix right now. They're struggling, but if they can turn that around, so there's a lot of teams in the West that I'm worried about. The East, Miami be fine. We're not even healthy, and we're the 4th or 4 or 5 seed. Just you see, like we're not even healthy. So imagine we're healthy. We're easily a top 4, top 3 seed.
Completely. So much to unpack from that. Like again, finals last year dealt with some injuries, but we didn't score like above 100, right? Like our offensive rating was shitty last year. Right now we're 17th, right? We're mid. Our defense 13th right now, which is kind of wild. Usually we're always top 5 to 10 range. So that's concerning. But to your point, Like we didn't have enough offense last year. I'm more worried about the West. I'm more worried about the Clippers, the Nuggets, probably then the Celtics, I guess would be third. So I agree with you on all that shit. These injuries have just been so annoying. Like last year, Miami's the most torturous team ever. A million clutch games, right? And losing some of those clutch games to the Hornets, to the Spurs, right? We were in a worse position. So if you told me Tyler's going to miss 18, Jimmy 10, Bam 10, Caleb's like at 15 now at this point, Haywood, everybody's missed time.
Yep.
You told us we're going to be fourth midway through with all that shit, and there's no
Yeah.
major injuries. I'll take it, right? What do you think, Ernest? Right? I mean, like,
we did the same thing in 2022, you know, and that's the thing. Like, I get what everyone's saying, and I get the frustration, you guys. Believe me, I've been watching this team for over 30 years now, and I've seen a lot of different teams. You've seen the Zoe era, the Big Three era, where they don't do this type of stuff, where it's not like hugely injury written and stuff. But going back to what Trent said last year about the Heat, I get what you guys mean, but we're forgetting that we didn't have Tyler and Victor. And the Heat were gassed by the time they went to the NBA Finals. The Heat fucked around. Let's be real. They were up 3-0 against Boston. Boston came back and took it to 7. Had the Heat done what they were supposed to do, they would have had the same amount of time off that Denver did. Denver had 9 days off. They were in Jeff Green's house in Miami. They were rested. They were prepared. Miami went from a game 7 in Boston with Jimmy Butler that had an injured ankle. Bam had an injured shoulder. They went from Boston to Denver to play the NBA Finals 2 days later. I ain't making excuses. I'm just saying it was a tough hill battle for Miami. But we've seen this, bro. Like, I'm sure y'all remember in 2022, we were the first seed, and we had the most lineup changes in the starting lineup in the NBA. This ain't nothing different. This is Miami Heat culture. Like we like all the teams in the NBA say next man up mentality. Mierda. They don't really mean it. The Miami Heat actually have that. When one guy goes down, another guy comes up. You get Caleb Martin out, don't worry. I'll throw in I'll throw in Hayward Highsmith. Like that's the kind of team that we have. So I understand the frustration. I understand how people don't really believe, but I'm starting to learn this myself. Like the Heat are made. They're poised to be a playoff team because when we get to the playoffs, y'all, it's Jimmy time. Jimmy turns into Himmy, as the shirt I got on. Yes, and we're seeing Bam take it to another level. If Tyler's healthy, that's the biggest thing about this roster. It's just health. You know, they do what they do in the season, but once the playoff comes, we know what it's going to be. I know there's dangerous teams out in the West, but the Heat they've gotten better this year. So I believe that if they're healthy, which is the hugest word, and we're going to use this a million times, healthy. If they're fully healthy, I think they can take it to any team in the West. Honestly, Denver, Phoenix, Clippers, any of them.
I agree with you, man, on that. Like, so even this year, 19th was last night our 20th different starting lineup. I don't know. I think it might still. We're 19.
I've lost count. I've lost count.
By far the most, right? So, like, it's funny. Beginning of the year, you lose Max, you lose Gabe, he was a starter, but it was mid-season playoffs. But like, the Heat have lost 2 starters. How are they going to compete? They've missed out on Dame. But like, dude, let's talk about that depth real quick, though, man. Like, we are deep, and it's because players like K Love, who needs his flowers, like that dude is on a mission this month. And Jaime, obviously, we'll talk about in a second. But like Duncan Robinson resurrecting his career, man. Like we're the deepest team by far, Ernest. And if we're healthy, I kind of agree with you, man. Like that's a big if, right? But I'm confident in this team. What do you think, Bartel, about the depth this year?
Listen, man, depth is everything. Like especially like with Jovic, because listen, Jovic, he needed some minutes, man. That's really all it was. He needed some minutes. He needed to be on the court. He needed those reps. Because you can do G League, you know, you could do shoot around and all that stuff, but to play with your actual teammates, to play with the veterans, to be under that coaching staff is everything. And I think he just needs those game time reps. And he's only 20 years old. And I'm telling you right now, if he does work out, the NBA is in trouble. Because if you have a future cornerstone, you know, with Jaime Jaquez Jr., Jovic, Tyler, and Bam, I'll take those 4 with any other young guys right across the NBA. So,
100%.
So, I will say, to your point, Ernest, about Tyler Herro, and I want to make it known, Heat Nation, I'm not a Tyler Herro hater. I'm not. I like the dude. I feel bad for him, honestly, because he's in trade rumors every single season. Every single season, and that's anxiety. Like that's a lot, you know. And he even made a joke out of it until next season or next summer, you know. But my thing about him is injuries are catching. Like he's young, we get it. He's always getting injured lately. That's my problem, right? This year, I'm glad it's early in the season, and hopefully he doesn't get injured again. And he plays the full season, so I'm glad it's early. But when we need him the most. In 41 games in the playoffs so far since he's been on this team, he only averaged 14 points a game, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. That's not enough. And if we want to do our goal and we want to win a championship, you can't have players like Bruce Brown. And don't get me wrong, Bruce Brown's a really, really good player, but he's putting up similar numbers like Tyler Hero. And Tyler Hero is our number one guy that we're really going to and relying on to win games. So he hasn't really stepped up in a big moment that I want him to. Like, obviously, he has his moments and stuff like that. That's the reason why I want him gone. Now, when we look at a player like Donovan Mitchell, this dude is damn near averaging 28 points a game in the postseason. Add that with a Bam, add that with a Jimmy Butler. This team easily the best team in the Eastern Conference, and confidently with Caleb Moore and Josh Richardson, Haywood Highsmith, Yami, Nikola Jokic. Now that he's in the lineup rotation and stuff like that, so that's the only reason why I'm like, yo, it's time to move on, my dog. I love you, but bro, we need you in the biggest moments. Not there for me. So that's just personally my opinion about Tyler Hero. I think you're a great player in the regular season. Get you crazy. You get your buckets. You can get us in the regular. You can get us those wins in the regular season that we need because Jimmy's going to be out. It matters to me the most in the postseason.
Agreed.
I agree. And I mean, homeboy, at least he's been unlucky with his injuries. They're not like soft tissue, you know, non-contact stuff. Like he's diving for a loose ball in the playoffs against the Bucks. He goes for a floater against the Grizzlies, lands on someone's foot. So like at least they're not like weak ass like AD type made out of glass injuries. But to your point, he hasn't been available, dude. Fuck the Lakers, by the way. Fuck the Lakers. Anytime
fuck them, bro. Fuck them, bro. Fuck the Lakers.
Fuck the Lakers by far, man. But
for real,
I agree with you, man. Like he needs to show out in the finals or the playoffs. Excuse me. He's averaging 13 points. Hasn't been available. He's been injured 3 playoffs. He's had a groin injury. He's had the hand thing, right? So he needs to be available. But he's showing at least in the regular season that he's being consistent at least, right? He might have a bad game where he did score 9, but he bounced back. Like he's not stringing together like 3 bad games in a row like he's done in the past. Like so he's growing. Like Bam is growing, he's growing, and I don't know. We have a shot, man, and we have a shot. But I hear you on that. I don't hate Tyler either, but he needs to step up.
I will say this, you guys. Oh, I'm sorry. You first.
Yeah, let me just say one more thing. And the reason why I'm rushing it is because this window's closing, and the reason why I say that Jimmy is aging. Jimmy is aging, and so this is why. Like, if Jimmy wasn't so old, I'd be like, okay, we can give Tyler his time. Like, but he's aging, and you could tell with these injuries, it's starting to play a factor with Jimmy. You know, and
no. It's not all the injuries though.
It's not. I get it, but what I'm saying,
it's not all the injuries because he be playing too much.
No, he does.
The problem is, listen, because I had this conversation the other day. Think about it. The whole off season. Don't get me wrong. People are supposed to enjoy themselves, but when you traveling and doing all that stuff, you're not getting the right work on your body. Yeah, you could shoot. Yeah, you could probably lift a few weights, but you're not putting in the off season work. Think about it. He didn't even play during the preseason for dental. Why not? For dental?
Yeah.
You're not even going to run up and down the court just a few times, take a quick for dental, bro. Come on, what dental procedure he got done? Those are and I'm not saying, you know what I mean, that he has to play 82 games. I'm not saying that, but like you also said, Trent, even when he does play, he's not trying out there. You could tell he's just jogging and barely shooting the ball, barely taking attempts. You know what I mean? And that's not going to get it done during the regular season.
Have you noticed?
We're seeing a different era. We're seeing a different era from basketball players, guys. Like, I mean, I'm sure I don't know where you guys started. I started in the 90s. I would see guys play 82. I wowould see guys play a lot of games. That's just not the way this NBA is. Like, you have your players that do. You have, like, I respect a guy like Tyrese Halliburton. Like, he has a very old school mentality. Like, some of these guys do. But then you have a lot of the other guys, like a Kawhi Leonard, like James Harden, Kyrie Irving. There's a lot of players out there that do believe in load management and believe, okay, I'll save it for the playoffs. And if it wasn't the case for Jimmy, I'd be so frustrated. And this is where I kind of agree with Trent, because what he said about Jimmy Butler's window is true. Tyler Hero and Jimmy Butler to me, it worked that first year when Tyler was here. When Tyler was here and he was Jimmy Butler's like, Jimmy what was like, come under my wing, you be my boy. After that season, I felt like Tyler and Jimmy didn't have the same connection. Tyler
I don't know what that was.
Yeah, I've said it before on my channel, guys, and I'll say it again. The Miami Heat culture is about the Heat. Tyler Hero plays for Tyler Hero. I don't think that's wrong. He's 23. That's fine. I get it. Take that shit to San Antonio or Orlando. Like when you're here, it's about putting another year on the banner. And that's what it needs to be about. So I don't think that Tyler and Jimmy have figured it out together, because when Jimmy plays great, for some reason, Tyler's not there. And when Tyler's on the court, it's like hot potato between Jimmy and Tyler. So yeah, I agree with Trent. I think, and I said this many times on my channel, I think a trade for Tyler Hero should be entertained simply because of the fact that you've seen that you can win without him. So if you can take that $27 million contract and the fact that he's a young asset and you can get someone, I've said this many times, take him, take another deal, another contract, try to package something and get a guy like Donovan Mitchell, DeJounte Murray, something like that. But it's just got to be one of those things if Miami's willing to do it, because they developed the kid. Like, that's another thing we don't know as well. Maybe the Heat don't really want to get rid of him because the fact that they develop him, they've seen so much in him. So it's a lot of different factors there.
What has Riles said? He said we want to keep the kid, or whatever the hell he's been saying during the offseason, right? To boost.
I don't believe anything Pat Riley says in conferences. No.
I know, right?
Yeah,
When he said that shit, I'm like, Cap, that's bullshit. Like, come on. Like, you know, you were shoving his ass we just struck out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say about Jimmy too, and we can go on to the next segment.
Sure.
His 3-point attempts this year is the highest since 2018.
Yep.
And that just tells me that
That's
something right there. That is something right there. It's at 2.2, and Jimmy throughout the years is 1.6, 2, 2.1, and then 2018 was 2.7 with Philly. But I know it's nitpicking numbers and stuff, but he's taking more threes this year, and that's not who Jimmy really is, you know. So
I mean, just saving himself. I think he's just saving himself. I think the older he gets, he's like, okay, I'm going to really, like, I got to hold it, because what's the point of going balls to the wall in January if you're just going to injure yourself and not be ready for April? Because what's this team about? This team isn't about making the playoffs. You know, that's what it was about when we first got Jimmy. Like, okay, let's see where we can go. But we've proven that we can get to the finals. And look at every team. Look at the Bulls. Look at the Pistons. Look at the Lakers. All these teams that have done straight years where you're playing from October to May or June. It takes a lot out of the body. And when you do it for like 3 to 4 straight years, it gets really tough, especially in your mid-30s. So I think Jimmy's at a point right now where it's like, I know what I'm going to have to give from April to June. I got to save it. He don't care about in-season award. He don't care about making the All-Star game. He doesn't care about All-NBA awards. He cares about the championship. And that's why I love Jimmy here. Jimmy is that mentality, and I think he'll get us to that next level.
I feel you on that, but also him playing half speed in that game against the Utah, where he came
What's
back.
The point?
He wasn't doing shit. Was he? Like,
no, it's because he's listen, it's called load managing in the game. What I'm saying is that what is the point of that? What is the point of load managing in the game?
Because he has to play. The NBA is gonna find the team if he doesn't.
No, but nobody's saying he has to play 82. Nobody's saying he has to play 82.
I know.
All we ask is that when you do play, could you just give a little bit more effort? Because people don't understand. Think about it. If we would have lost versus the Bulls, there is no playoffs. We barely made the playoffs. So all that load managing that he was doing, thank God that we're in a better position now. But last year we barely made the playoffs.
Remember,
that's why you got to get better seating. You got to get better seating this year. And I don't believe in playing.
If you're gonna let Jimmy low manage throughout the regular season, fine. Put the proper roster around him. It can't just be Bam and Tyler and a bunch of role guys. You know what I mean? You got to upgrade, in my opinion, on the talent aspect.
Yeah,
we're doing pretty well this year, but especially last year and maybe even the years to come, we got to improve the roster as the time goes by. If you're gonna let Jimmy sit,
that's a great point too. Because
you have to.
Right now, we're letting him load management because we don't want to let him load management in a game, play half speed, get fucking hurt because you're not even trying, dude. I'm sure we're all hoopers. if we go play basketball and I see some scrubs and they're like, "Do you want to play with us?" and I'm like, I'm gonna get hurt and I'm gonna play half speed because they suck, right? I'm not gonna try. So like I just avoid it. Like playing half speed basketball, to your point, Martel, like don't let him sit out.
Trash.
Let him sit out like he's doing right now, right? Versus like
Yep.
let him play in there and risk some bullshit injury. So
Lord, man,
anyway,
they're getting paid $50
no
million.
more injury
Yeah.
talk. I'm tired of that shit. Let's talk about the guy that has been stepping the fuck up in Jimmy's absence, right? Let's talk about the Mexican Jaime Jaquez, aka Jimmy Butler. This dude has been a revelation to the Miami Heat, right? Like I'm following. That's the next Heat jersey that I'm buying. I don't have a ton anymore. Heat jerseys. I think I got the Bam and Jimmy, so I think he's the next one I'm gonna purchase. But he's been killing it, man. What are your guys' thoughts on Jaime, man? Like how he's been playing? He's like what, third in the Rookie of the Year battle? Technically second, right? We should be. I mean, yeah, it's like him and Chet's not even a rookie, but I get it. He didn't play last year, so
It shows you what Miami Heat culture is. Like I know it's a cute little thing to put on shirts and I know it's a nice little thing to say, but that has nothing to do with it. It's accountability. It's the fact that players come here, they buy in and they do the work. Jaime Jaquez even said it, you guys. I don't know if you saw when he got drafted. They were like putting a camera on him. He did workouts with the Heat and he even said it. That's where I wanted to go. Like people know when then they come to the Heat, they're going to get the best out of them. And what happens when players get the best out of them? They make more money. So he knows that this was the best position for him. And honestly, it could have been Jaime Jaquez, but it could have been a lot of other players. You know, if Miami took Whitmore, if Miami took other guys, you would have been seeing them doing a lot better than what they're doing on their teams. It's because of the accountability on the team from head to toe. And the fact that he's playing with his favorite player, Jimmy Butler, you're constantly working with the dude every day. You're learning all that little stuff, bro. It was revelation.
for sure. What do you think, Martel?
I think he's a diamond in the rough, and he should be Rookie of the Year, but the NBA won't allow it. They worship
Chet.
Wemby. They won't, you know what I mean? They actually, bro, they worship that man. They are pushing him to be the next, whatever. So I'm hoping that he can win it. I think he is the Rookie of the Year only because when you look at the impact overall in terms of winning, he's actually impacting winning. And I know that people are going to say, yeah, well, the Miami Heat have a better team. I understand that, but the other teams with Chet, they have a really good team as well. And with Popovich, he's nothing without his Hall of Famers. So we really can't even look at that. So I just think, just overall, he is the Rookie of the Year. Like I said, just like with the impact of winning, and he better win the dunk contest if he really does it. I think that will even help solidify that as well.
Is it confirmed? Was it officially confirmed?
Yeah.
Yep.
Not yet, but
No, it was.
Got you.
So I'm gonna be honest with you. I was doing a stream on draft day, and I was waiting for Miami Heat's pick. And when I seen him, I'm looking at him like, I don't like this pick. I wanted Whitmore.
Yeah.
I wanted
Whitmore. But like you said, Ernest, you brought up a great point. It don't matter what rookie would have came over here. This culture is different. We are different. And if you notice, all the players that are leaving and getting the bag from other teams is because they went to us first.
Yeah.
And they grew into a player. And I feel bad for Vincent because his injuries and stuff, but it is what it is. But anyways, right? I don't think Chet should win Rookie of the Year just because you got hurt your first year. That's not Jamie's fault. Simple as that. That's not his fault. So we need to eliminate Chet. I don't like that. I really just don't like that rule. Yeah. But it is what it is.
He's been on a team for a year. He's been practicing around vets. Like
there's so many players that win that award. It makes no sense.
Yeah. And then Victor, man, I'm gonna go on a little rant about Victor. I can't stand Victor. This dude, Victor, is not him personally. How they're pushing Victor. They're making him like the front. They're trying to make him the front of the NBA and stuff like that. They show every single commercial. They show everything of him holding a hot dog, from him throwing a baseball, for him doing anything. Like, yo, get off this dude's back. And it's so frustrating. He's going to make the All-Star game. He's probably going to be a starter. They're pushing this dude for everything. And it's so frustrating. Don't get me wrong. He's a good player. But just relax. Like, just stop. And so when you look at Jamie, though, man, this dude's a hooper. When he's out there, it looks like he's been in the league for 5 years. Facts. Man, I was when I seen him do that little move on LeBron, I said, "Oh man, oh man, that move was beautiful." I posted on my channel.
You can't teach that, Trent. You cannot teach that.
Nah,
you can't teach that, Trent.
One thing about him is his footwork is incredible for a player that is that young. Like it is incredible. And Miami Heat Nation, the best thing about it, we got him on a cheap deal. We have him till 2027, 2028, and his salary goes from 3.5 to 3.7 to 3.8 to like 6 mil, and then $9 million.
Yeah, and then when you re-sign him, you can go over the cap to keep him. So
and then by
set.
then,
Birds, right? Yep, got his bird rights.
and then by 2027, 2028, each year the money goes up, 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 and up.
Yep.
So, and by that time, low-key, I think Jimmy might be off his contract too.
Yep.
Around there. So, man, I love what he brought to this team, because honestly, if he wasn't playing like this, I think the Heat would still be good, but I don't like.
Not as good.
Not as good, because So yeah, I love it. I love this pick, and I was, like I said, I didn't want him. I wanted Cam Whitmore, but that's what happens.
Man, with all these injuries, without him, we'd be screwed. You know, if we had Caleb and we've had like Haywood and Tyler didn't get hurt, we would have been okay. But he's been doing, man. So I got one more question for y'all before we wrap up. So February 8th, Thursday, we know there's a little deadline coming up. We got 3 weeks or 3.5 weeks before that date.
Yep.
Transaction talk, man. We haven't talked about trades. I know Trent mentioned someone earlier on the video, but I want to go around the horn. I want to ask you guys if there's one player or multiple players, who do you think the Heat need to add in order to win a championship? Or do we not? Like, are we as good as we are with the current roster? So let's start with Martel. Who would you want the Heat to trade for, do you think, that could help us win?
It just depends on what the Miami Heat want to do. Like, if they want to get rid of Kyle Lowry, which I don't think he's playing terrible this year, but listen, but at the end of the day, like, is he worth $30 million? No. So I'm kind of looking at Colin Sexton and maybe Kelly Olynyk, only because it kind of solves two in one. You get the point guard, and then you also get the power forward next to Bam. Kelly's been here before. Is he great defensively? No, but he's a great three-point shooter. He can help space the floor. He can set the picks. Colin Sexton, I think he's a dog in a point guard. Pat Riley has liked him for a while, and he also fits that timeline, with all the rest of the guys. So I think for like a 2-1, I think that would be solid.
I agree.
I like that.
What do you think, Ernest?
I was gonna. So I say nothing. I love the team as is. However, I've said it many times in my channel about possible trades, so I will throw up a name. I was gonna say Marcus Smith, simply because Ja's out.
Smart.
Oh, Marcus Smart. Wow, I said Smith.
I knew what you meant. You made a video.
Yeah, I was gonna say Marcus Smart, especially now that Ja's out for the year. It makes a lot of sense. I don't know if they're gonna do it. I think Mithins is really looking for next season, and they gave up 2 first-round picks for Marcus Smart, so I think they're looking for next year. So I'm gonna say another player, DeJounte Murray from the Hawks. He's on. They're looking to move him, and if you think about it, with the contract situation, they're going to blow it up in Atlanta. So if the Miami Heat can come with a deal, now you're probably going to have to give a draft pick. You're probably going to have to give a young asset like Jovic, but you can maybe give them Lowry. You're going to present Atlanta an opportunity to help Trae Young moving forward. Here's Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry can help this kid moving forward, or you just take Kyle Lowry, buy out his contract, or send him to another team. This will give Atlanta flexibility to build around Trae Young for the future. You can give them a young piece like Jovic, which, my opinion, that's the reason why the Heat are playing him now. It's to show teams his value to maybe offer him in the future draft, in a trade. Is it smart? Who knows? But if you can get a DeJounte Murray with Jimmy, with Bam, with Tyler, with Jaime Jaquez, DeJounte Murray, you can slide him in the point guard position. Yo, beast.
So I've been saying this for a while. I want Donovan Mitchell. I think Donovan Mitchell, we bring him to this team, we win a championship. I don't give a fuck about the Clippers. I don't give a fuck about the Celtics. Not to swear, I'm sorry. But 76ers, I don't care about anybody. Bring me Donovan Mitchell. Bring me a healthy Jimmy Butler. We'll go 16-0. Maybe I'm being biased. Maybe go 14-2. Miami, some games they just like, nah. But adding him, that dude's a dog. And to be honest, him going to Cleveland, even though they have been winning lately, they're 7-3 in their last 10 and currently on a 3-game win streak. It's a little iffy over there. So let's root for Cleveland to continue to lose games so they can trade Donovan Mitchell, and maybe Cleveland likes a Darius Garland and Tyler Hero. Maybe they can build for the future over there with Mobley, and we bring Mitchell over here, and I'll let you go, Ernest. And I will say this, right? Adding Mitchell while Jimmy Butler walks up and done with his contract, Bam Adebayo and Donovan Mitchell is still a good team in the Eastern Conference in the future. So that's another thing that you want to look at. Yes, we're trying to win a championship now in the Jimmy Butler era, but after that era, this can be Bam and Donovan Mitchell, and we just fill the role.
They're both 26. They're both the same age, right? So
And just to go about what Trevor's going to say, that's the only player I would be willing to give up Tyler for. All of these other players we spoke about, no.
And the other players that were rumored, DeRozan, Levine, or whoever.
None of them. Nope. I don't want, none of them. I'm glad we didn't trade for Beal, and I know Beal has been playing a little bit better, but no, I don't want Beal, especially his contract, his trade clause. DeRozan, I'm all set with that. All these other players, no. Donovan Mitchell, yes.
Yep. He's the only one. The only one I can feel is like in the same level with Damian Lillard. Yep. Like I was willing to give up Hero for Damian Lillard, but Spider, absolutely.
He's super clutch, man, in the playoffs. Like that's one you give up the farm for. But I'll give my answer real quick. So I think I'm on the side of Martell. You guys went for a little splash your names with Murray and Spida, but I'm thinking, one, we can't waste Lowry. Like Lowry's a good backup. Ernest, you said this on all your videos. Like he's been playing better than we thought he would. But look, he's hurt. He's old. He's inconsistent. We got to use that contract in like a first round pick, or not even. Hopefully not. But I'm on the side of going like a small move. Tyus Jones has been mentioned a lot. We need a floor general. He's young. He's averaging 14 points, 6 assists. He's shooting 43%.
I was going to say that. You seen his numbers?
That's on 4 attempts. That's the insane number to me, right? Like,
but he's making $14 million, so you need to match that.
So, like, thank you for that, because I'm going to add a guy we went after years ago back in the day, Danilo Gallinari. He's been linked to the Heat in the past. He's old. We can get him as like he probably play 10, 12, 15 minutes a game, but he could spread the floor, and then you could throw in like a Shamit, like who could hit threes, or like a Daylon Wright, who's a shooting guard. You need to add like 3 pieces, but I'm going for that. We need a point guard, dude. Like we have none on the roster right now if Kyle Lowry misses time right now. I mean, RJ Hampton, I'm not counting that dude, right? So we're going to be stuck with Hero and fucking Jay Rich as a point guard, bro. He's not a bad guard, but he's not a point guard. So
they're not point guards. They're not Kyle Lowry. Like
they're shooting guards or even combo guards at best, but they're not Kyle. They're not QB1, which I fucking hated that term.
Westbrook.
I wish.
No.
No. Nah, listen. Westbrook to Miami is not gonna happen, but like you're telling me Westbrook doesn't fit that culture? And when it fit well with us, like the spacing may not be great, let's be honest. But if you watch, I watch Westbrook all day. This dude, he makes any of his Bam might be averaging 30 and 10 when he's playing with Russ. Russ is gonna feed Bam every single time, and Bam better make the damn shot. Like that's what Russ does.
Yeah, and I agree. But Russ has a different game. And I don't think it's going to work well with a lot of the other. It'll work with Bam. You're right. With Bam, I think it'll work. But it ain't going to work with Tyler. It ain't going to work with Jimmy. It ain't going to work with Jaime. It's going to – Russell needs the ball. That's why he's coming off the bench for the Clippers. It's because there's only one ball. So he's like, fuck it. He's like, I'll come off the bench so some of y'all will come out. But he needs isolation. He needs to play in a pick and roll development. Jimmy can't play like that. Jimmy can't play off the ball that greatly. Like it just doesn't work. Like that's why I like Kyle Lowry. He does all the little things that the team needs from a point guard. That's the type of point guard we need. Tyus Jones could fit that. DeJounte Murray, I mean, he comes from San Antonio, so he knows his role. Even Spida, Spida, I think is the best option. But Russ, I don't see it working. Maybe Russ 5 years ago, but I don't know about now.
Hey, I know we want to wrap it up, Amir, but that's just my dream. I'm a Russ fan. I'm a Heat fan. I just want Russ to get a ring, Miami to win a championship, and I'll be the happiest man alive. I mean, I can't complain.
You're a simple man, Trent.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, guys. Well, this was super fun. Thanks for hopping on. Really appreciate it. It was a good time, good conversation. I'll link all your guys' channels in the description of the video. So I'm sure you guys are already following these guys. if you're following me. So if not, though, sub to their channels. If you guys liked this content, we'll try to get together more. The 4 of us, the 2 of us, any variation. I think we just need to collab more. This was fun. So thanks again for watching, guys. And yeah, hopefully we'll do this again soon.
Awesome. Take care, guys.
All
Good
right.
night.